Hey, sweeties. It is time for the long awaited sweetness review for the year 5782. So, the year 5783 on the Jewish calendar is already in full swing. We have already had our big holiday season. Yes, I know I'm wearing cat ears. Is it for Halloween? No. Is it because I found them and at this time of year I'm less likely to get weird looks for it? Yes. I'm sitting in a little private room in the library. So if you're wondering where I am, that's where I am. So yeah, so sweetness review for 5782. I do want to mention I have a goal. My birthday is next month, as of the time of recording this. Next month is November. I have a goal of getting 100 subscribers if I could. So if you watching this today are subscribed, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you are not, I invite you to subscribe. If you decide my content is not something you're interested in after all, you can always unsubscribe. I won't even know. I mean, the number will go back down, so I'll know that way, but I won't take it personally. But I just think that would be kind of cool to get to at least 100 by my birthday. So I'm up to 88, I think, last time I checked. Okay, so, and I'll be turning 51 in case I didn't specify that. So, anyway, okay. So, sweetness review for 5782. Naturally, since I am a parental unit, many of the things that I find sweet in life, many of the things that I get excited and happy about are related to my kids. So, I'm going to start with that. So, one very sweet thing that happened in my family is that kid number one has been able to legally change their name and gender marker. So that's something we're all real happy about. So yeah, Phoenix's gender is officially X. And yeah, that's great. And I know that not everyone is living in a place where they can do that right now. So here's hoping that we're all moving towards that being made possible, and for where it's possible for it to be made easier. Okie dokie. So yeah. So now remember, for anyone new here, I have permission to speak in more detail about Kid 1. They're not a very private person. Kid 2 and Kid 3 are more private. Yeah. So hopefully I won't get in any trouble. No, I'm not going to get in any trouble for this. But so I have heard from the family grapevine. Now I've been assured that kid number 2, who's been living with his dad and stepmom for quite some time now, that he's just making some good, positive choices and just good with the grown-up stuff. So, my kids currently are 25, because Phoenix already had their birthday for this year, and my other 2 are turning 22 and 19. So my kids are grown-ups. They should all be doing grown-up stuff to some extent. Okay, so yeah, so kid 2 has been having more success with adulting, basically. So I'm really pleased with that. And actually, I can really say the same thing for kid 3, who is no longer living with me right now. And I'm certainly not happy about that, but it's a step forward for everybody, so that's okay. And yeah, so we're all doing better with adulting. And let's see, yeah, so that one's bittersweet, but that's okay, it's temporary. Okay, so now on to the sweetness, the sweet stuff that is me. That sounds weird. Anyway, yeah, I have found more acceptance of myself and who I am and how I am, and just I like me. I like me now, and that's not something I could always say. That's pretty recent, and it improves as time goes on, so that's nice. I realize the kind of people that I admire and the kind of people that I think that's how we should be behaving, all of us. I am like that more than not. So, I now am better at giving myself credit for that. So that's nice. And that definitely brings me a measure of peace. And yeah, it's cool. See, getting older isn't all bad. Anyway, and along similar lines, but slightly different, is the next thing on my list, which is I trust myself and my decisions more than I ever have. So that's good. And yeah, I don't really need to elaborate too much on that. Just, big decisions, small decisions. We've got to make decisions all the time. And I don't have anyone with me 24/7 now to, bounce ideas off of. I just got to kind of go, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, whatever, I'll just do this, and if it doesn't work, then I backpedal and do something else, and that's okay too. According to Dr. Abraham Lowe, no decision is perfect or permanent. So, there you go. Next on my list, and I am going to be mindful how I talk about this, because people sometimes, if you hear a weird squeaky noise, it's my feet tucked up under me on a wooden chair, and it kind of making kind of a fart-like noise. Lovely. Anyway, nothing says I'm a grown-up like making fart noises with my feet on the chair. Okay. Okay, so before I get to the next thing on my sweetness list, I want to be very clear of two things. One is that for myself, and I know not everyone's the same with this, but for myself, if I am afraid of something, that does not mean that I hate it or even dislike it. Those are completely different feelings that come from completely different places as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Hey everybody, have some water. It's good for you. Okay, so now that I've said that I do not merge fear and dislike, the next thing I want to say is I absolutely love animals, and I always have. I really love creatures of all kinds, whether I understand them or not, and even if they're scary to me. So having said that, I am coming off of a lifelong phobia of dogs. When I say phobia, I mean an irrational fear, just like when you say phobia in other contexts. But it has been very, very limiting in my life, and anyone viewing this who actually knows me in the real world knows how it has really, really been debilitating. Yeah, but and I'm not all 100% done with it yet. I'm still working on it, but I've really, really turned a corner. And let's see, we're at the end of October now, and it was July 4th when I went over to visit at a friend's house. A friend, well, they are two friends, but it is a house. Lovely people they are. Anyway, I don't know if they want me mentioning their name on the internet, so I'm not going to. But wonderful friends, and they let me receive mail at their house, and so I drop by there regularly, and one of their very large doggies likes to come to the door and bark real loud and jump, and that makes me nervous sometimes still. But sometimes it doesn't anymore though. But yeah, they have 2 big doggies, and as of July 4th, when I hung out over there for a bit, I was able to just sit and be, and their dogs were, just doing their doggy thing all over, running around the house, and I was okay. And I've been there since then also and been fine, and visited with other doggies that I know of varying sizes, some really big, and I'm doing much better. I still have a ways to go, but I am so much better, and this is as good as I've been with this problem since I don't remember being this okay. So again, I'm almost 51 years old, and I've finally turned a corner on this, but I'm going to keep working on it. And that is the upside to my living circumstances. The safe parking program where I stay at night. A lot of people have dogs of varying kinds and sizes, but everyone knows they have to keep their dog leashed and under control, because otherwise, well, it's just one of the rules. There is no otherwise. They just need to do that. And so, the participants are pretty mindful about that. And so that's been very sweet that is not as big a hindrance in my life, and that I'm getting better. It's nice to get better. Healing can happen at any time for anyone. And, at one time, side note here, and this is less sweet, but at one time I really lost hope that I would get to this point. I was going through a very dark time, and a lot of stuff was going terribly, terribly wrong. But it got better, and whatever circumstances you may be in, everyone has ups and downs, and some of the downs are pretty awful, and I know that. But I saw this on the internet, I don't know when, it was probably a couple of years ago, but I really liked it, and it was something like, you've already survived 100% of the worst days you've ever had. So in other words, you will get through this. If you're going through garbage now, you will get through it. You will come out on the other side. And the nice thing about coming out of garbage is that everything else smells better, right? Anyway. Oh, so I have one more thing on my sweetness review list. And, well, if I'm going to get backlash from this, then I'm going to get backlash from it no matter what words I choose. So I'm not going to walk on eggshells. Okay, so some of us have been raised with the idea that when something goes wrong, it's absolutely your fault. Oh, what a screw up. And some people have been raised with, oh, when something goes wrong, someone else screwed it up for you. Well, I was raised to be the one to take the blame for everything. So, I am still working on setting healthy boundaries with people, especially people that I've known for a very, very, very long time. And actually, this part I didn't write down, but this past High Holy Day season, for those of you from a Jewish background, you would likely know the custom of, you go around and apologize to anyone you may have wronged before you apologize as a community to God, or ask forgiveness, I guess I should say. But I realized I basically acknowledged my own side of I didn't set my clear boundaries and insist on maintaining them with people. And I've been a grown-up for long enough that I could have been doing that for a while. So I kind of own that with a few different people. And on that note, more specifically, I have a notation for it here, but I don't know if I'm going to word it like that. Yeah, basically I stood my ground on an issue. Someone had said a transphobic thing. I'm not going to get into who it was or exactly what they said or how they responded when I told them I expected a certain proper apology for it. But I will tell you, there is a difference. And this is enough of a generalization. There is a definite difference between, when someone points out they've made a transphobic, homophobic, bigoted in some way, comment. There's a difference between, oh, I didn't realize that wasn't cool. Okay, I'm sorry, and I will try to remember not to do that again. Versus, I am not a transphobe. If you're not any kind of a bigot, it is not likely that you will be accused of being one. Although, actually, it was really funny. I think someone, I'm trying to remember, it was some weird thing in a comment section on someone else's video. Someone implied or straight up said that I was homophobic. I just started laughing because I thought that was really funny. Yeah, I'm such a bigot. Anyway, but yeah, so and this one person in general, and just one person specifically, and people in general, if you want to have interactions with me with any regularity, if I or someone else calls you on something bigoted, just apologize and just own it and try not to do it again. Versus, I am not a transphobe. Yeah, okay. I'm just not going to argue. About it. I have said words have come out of my mouth that were not nice in my life. And, I have had to look at that, and I've had to own that and apologize for it. I have 3 grown children, as I've said, so yeah, stuff still comes up that the kids might remember from when they were little, and sometimes I still have to apologize for things that didn't look like that to me from my perspective. But if you hurt someone, you hurt someone, and if you need to apologize, you need to apologize. It's not a one-sided thing. It works with everybody. And yeah, so I think I rambled long enough. All in all, it was not a terrible year. I live in my car, but I have a car to live in. I have protection between me and the elements. I have an appointment at my local food pantry tomorrow, and they have it set up like a little grocery store. It's amazing. Because for any of you out there who, if you may have never had a food bank experience, usually they give you a box or a bag of just whatever. And you're just lucky if you can use any of it, and if you're not allergic to half of it. But being set up like a little grocery store, and they keep track of, it's like a point system. It's a little complicated, but they keep track of it. So it's really nice, and that way I only get things I will actually use, and no waste. So it's nice. But yeah, so all in all, it has been not a terrible year. Also, in the past year, I got my van. That wasn't on the list. Yeah, I have a van now, so yeah, if I have to sleep in the car, at least I can have a bed back there. That really makes a difference. That is really nice. Anyway, wow, I've definitely rambled for like almost 20 minutes, so I'm gonna go. So until next time, my sweeties.